Hi, I'm Russ, this is Kyle, we're Chez. We're the mobile app that brings the food and the chef to you. With Chez, we're creating a community of diners who want great restaurant quality meals served in the comfort of their own home. And we're connecting them with entrepreneurial chefs who want to make a little extra money or maybe build their own personal brand. We say entrepreneurism, we kind of a literal view of it. It's anyone from a line cook or a culinary student who wants to help pay the rent at the end of the month to the guy who wants to have their own restaurant one day but doesn't have the financial backing yet to do that, doesn't want to go work for someone else in the short term. Kyle and I are both service industry vets, and while locally owned restaurants have never been more popular, they have a lot of pain points. Usually they're in smaller locations, service can sometimes be spotty, sometimes they don't take reservations, causing long waits, and at the end of the day, we're all busier than ever, and nobody wants to wait a long time, but wants to be in the comfort of their own home. And it's hard on chefs too. These chefs work long hours for low wages, usually no benefits, and if they're not the one creating the menu, they lose that expression that they get. So with Chez, we've created a new option for both these groups. With Chez, pretty simply, our app, the chef will post a meal to the app as late as the afternoon of, the diner can pick it, the chef will come to their house, prepare the meal, plate it, serve it to them, and be out of the house in 30 to 35 minutes at roughly the same price as a nice restaurant.
So I'm going to go through the two different views that we have on our app. We'll start off with the chef's view, and this is one of our first chefs actually, Whitney. And she's in charge of, as Russ mentioned, she's the entrepreneur. It's her business. We're helping her take care of that. She's going to put her description, her bio, with her qualifications, any specialty she may focus on, and what gives her the ability to be able to serve a great meal in your home. Once she submits that, we're going to approve it, make sure we do some vetting, and then once she goes live, she's also going to have some access to some business tools such as expense tracking. After that, the big part is going to be the meals. She takes pictures of her food, she puts it up on there, puts the description, puts a menu together, and also again, you can go on, you can review the meals, you can review that, see her on there. That way you can recognize her when she's on Food Network, the next Food Network star. Once it's on there and on the actual app, and then we go to the Diners View. You can search a few different ways. You can search by food, or you can search by specific chefs. Tonight, we're just looking at all the different options. I'm going to pick a filet. Once I go there, I'm able to look at the specific details of that meal, what the side is, what the appetizer is, and I can also look at the bio of the chef if I'd like to. Once I decide I want this, I just click order, brings up the times that I'm going to have. Anything that's grayed out has already been taken. So with this, I go ahead and I decide 7 o'clock. Once I select 7 o'clock, I'm going to get a notification, or it actually pushes a notification to the chef to verify whether or not they're still available for that. Once they confirm, I'll get a notification saying, yes, be ready for Whitney to show up at 7 p.m. And with that, I'll get another notification about 15 minutes before, letting me know, preheat the oven. We found that this really helps the chefs be in and out within 30 to 35 minutes. Now, with this, we've really been pushing to get the word out, and we're working to be as remarkable as possible. And not just in the meaning of, hey, wow, that was amazing, but we want people to make remarks. And with this, partnering with social media influencers, we've got a couple of Instagram accounts up here, and then also individuals, when they use our service, if they make a post, tag us in there. Once they get to 100 likes, we'll give them a discount, about 10%. We also know that through our market research, we found that chefs are very much word of mouth. If they're earning additional income, they're going to tell their friends about it, and they're going to bring more chefs in for us to use. Once we get to that point and we're starting to grow, so we're really going to be pushing that social media side, and we also want to go to farmers markets. Those are the type of people that we want to have using our service. They're the ones that are already looking for that extra experience. Now, how are we going to earn our money? What we have right now, through our market research and our customer discovery, we found that on average, there are about 3 people in every meal. Sometimes we're going to have a bigger dinner party, sometimes it might be smaller. So with 25 chefs right now, we're pushing to have 15 meals per chef. Now, that doesn't mean 15 stops through the week. It means 15 individuals served throughout the week. So they might have a dinner party of 10 and one of 5. With an average of $55 per person, at that 25 chefs, we're going to have about $1 million in revenue. We are setting a goal to have a net increase of 10 chefs per quarter, bringing us to about $1.5 million in revenue. What we do is we actually take a marketing fee of 20% from the cost of the meal. After that, we're going to have some expenses, credit card processing. We also have to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and all of that, but looking at about 13% total revenue. And right now, in the Louisville market, we understand we want to grow as much as we can. The larger markets are where we're really going to be growing, so more dense population, more people, more chefs available. But we look forward to having you all use Chez as we
Okay, guys, tell me about your advisors.
So right now, we worked through our school, Bellarmine, and we've met with several entrepreneurs. We met with, I guess not, but Highcon Hospitality in one particular. So they started a few restaurants there, and then we also met with some other restaurant owners. They're of Harvest in Louisville. So we've met with some of them to discuss how best to recruit chefs on the diner side, because we know that chefs are going to be the backbone of the entire process, making sure we have high quality chefs going in. We've been meeting with them to find the best way to recruit them. We've got referrals that way.
That dovetails into my question. I think your profit model is based on 25 chefs.
Right. Well,
So how would you attract 25 chefs to participate in your service?
We're working with a lot of different ways. It's a really word-of-mouth industry. We're also working with an instructor at Sullivan University, which is a culinary school in Louisville, to help with some maybe their students that want some more experience, and their graduates who maybe are looking to make some extra money. It's really just a networking thing within the community. It's a really transient profession. People tend to up and go from job to job, week to week, month to month. So it's something that's tough, but it's really, like Kyle said, it's really word of mouth. Unfortunately, there's not a great technical way to do it, but it's something that we found. If we can get those first 25 in, which will be a challenge, and they're happy and they're making money, then the rest of it should take care of itself.
How are you going to handle if there's more demand and the chefs are not available?
It'd be a great problem to have. Kind of like we said, if things are successful and there is the market that we think is there, we think chefs will not be a problem. Like I said, it's a hard profession. The restaurants don't pay great. So these guys can control their own hours and their own income because the prices at the end of the day are totally up to them. We're not going to do anything to set prices for the chefs. So we think giving them that kind of control to their own lives will help us recruit more chefs.
And I said, just to add to that, the exclusivity of that, we actually also see that somewhat as a benefit. If a chef is booked out months in advance, that's good for them, it's good for us, and it gives us a reason to recruit additional chefs. But everyone likes to say, hey, did you hear last night I had a private chef at my place? It's just word of mouth, they're going to love talking about it.
I have two questions. Sorry everybody. Two questions. The first one's about scalability. How will you scale? Because obviously there's a lot of labor-intensive element to this. And kind of related to that, I noticed on your slide, from 25 to 55 chefs, you more than doubled the number of chefs, but you only increased revenue by about 50%. So is that representative of a scalability problem, or what's going on there with the numbers? And then the less important question, how are you going to filter out good chefs, bad chefs? Because like you said, word of mouth, if someone gets a bad chef, you're toast. So the scalability questions.
Focus on the chef. How do you scale them out? I have 2 seconds.
Let's not split flat this one. We'll let them answer this question and we'll be fine.
So quickly, on the revenue part, the goal is to net an additional 10 chefs per quarter. So quarter one being 25, then 35, 45. So we only have 55 chefs in the fourth quarter of the first year. So that kind of explains the kind of slower growth that it would maybe seem. Tell me what the second question is.
How do you scale?
Oh, scale. So scalability is something, that's one of our biggest challenges. We're in Louisville right now. Obviously, that's a market that has some limits. We really see this going great when we get into larger, more densely populated markets with higher revenue earners.
How are you going to vet your chefs?
So we're going to background check. Every chef will have to be background checked. There's going to be personal interviews, especially to start, but we see that going on anyways throughout. Yeah, and then every chef will have to have a ServSafe certification, which is a National Restaurant Association, I guess a hygiene certification, and just to make sure food's safe.
Are you getting their food?
All right, let's give it up for Chez.